Hello, Craftaholics, and if this is your first time here, it's a pleasure to meet you. My name is Peggy, and welcome to my studio. And I will apologize right now. I tried to record this a few times, and it keeps jumping really bad, so I am going to try to minimize that the best I can. Anyway, my friend Dina, who is Crafty Crafts by Dina here on YouTube, is hosting our annual unbirthday swap in her group on Facebook. And this is the one time a year when we celebrate everybody's birthday at the same time. And it is loads of fun to do. And my partner and I, well, we have to, it's crafter's choice on the makes, but you have to have at least 5 birthday gifts for your partner. And my partner and I decided to do maybe 1 or 2 birthday themed things, and the rest of it, things that we know the other one's going to be able to use, hopefully. So my partner has begun to art journal. And it's not something that I have personally done, but I have made a bunch of journals in the past. So I thought, you know what? Why not make her one? Because if she's doing this on a daily basis, the one that she's made for herself is going to fill up pretty quick. Then I thought, okay, how do I want to bind it? Because I didn't want to bind it like a regular journal where the pages are in there, which I know most people do for them, but I didn't want to. And I didn't want to do it like a traveler's notebook with the elastic, you know, where you pull out the signatures. I didn't want to do that either. I wanted where she could take out a sheet of paper, work on it, and put it back in. And I thought, well, I don't want to take a notebook, because I've done this in the past too, and in my older videos, where I'll like dissect a whole notebook and rebuild it. And I didn't want to do that, and I didn't want to use binder rings. I didn't want to do like a 3-ring punch. So I thought, you know what, the next best thing that I know of is a disc bound system, like for a planner. So I went on to Amazon, and I bought this box of discs. And it's actually in a really nice wooden box and everything. And they are 1 inch in size around. I've already used some black, as you can tell. And I thought that was a good size for a gift journal. So let me put these aside. And they weren't that expensive. I will link them below. The next thing was I tried to figure out, okay, what size do I want to make it? Now I know, and I hope this video looks okay, because on my monitor, it's really blotchy. So I'm hoping it looks okay. If it doesn't, I will just redo it. Anyway, so I thought, what size? Now I know if I was trying to, journaling is getting our feelings out, getting our emotions out, whatever we're feeling that moment, that day, whatever. I think I would be overwhelmed with a full size, like an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. I thought, I don't want to do it that big, but I don't want to do it just a half a sheet either, because it's kind of small. So what I did was, I guess it's not that much bigger, but I went and I looked at the size of a Happy Planner page. I'm like, that's pretty good, not bad. So my covers for it are, hopefully it won't jump. This is 7 1/4 by 9 1/2. And it is made out of watercolor paper. Oh, it's jumping. Why are you jumping? Even when my hands are there. Good Lord. I don't know what's going on with my camera right now. But if you've ever used water, it's very thick. And one side is textured and one side is smooth. And I have the textured side is out on the front and the bottom. And you're going to see in this journal is very white. Very plain, very white. Because I have an image for the cover. But I want it so she can add to it and she can decorate it and she can make it her own and make, for however she wants it to look. So I also have a large, which I'll bring it out a little bit later, punch for my planner. And all I did was I just centered this the best I could and I punched it to get 9 holes, like are on a regular planner of around this size. And what I want to do on this is I want to make a pocket. So I took a piece of my scrap. Well, what I did first, hold on, excuse the reach if you can see my arm. I grabbed my Tim Holtz here, my ruler, and I measured and I was like, well, 6.5 inches looks like a pretty good width. There's no method to this madness here. I'm just kind of winging it around. So I decided to cut one of the scraps 7.5 And it was already, what is this? 5 inches. So let me put this aside for just a second here. So this is going to be my pocket. And all I'm going to do is put it in my scoreboard. This is very awkward at this angle. Let me turn it so I can actually. And where are my glasses? Guys, I am so not ready for this today. I'm sorry. Let me see. Where? Well, I don't see them anywhere, so we're going to do this blind as a bat. Okay. So what I'm going to do, sorry. I'm going to score at a 1/2 inch. This is a Teflon pencil bone folder that I'm using. And you have to really press into one of these. Even one with like a regular stylus would work really well on this too. I'm going to, on the short edge, the one long edge, and over here, I'm just on 3 sides, is what I'm trying to say. I am going to score it at a 1/2 inch. Okay. This is going to be my pocket. Now let me get rid of this bad boy. And you may hear it slide down down the floor. I have no idea. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is cut out my corners a little bit. I know it's hard to see because, gosh, let me try to bring it up here. Okay, I'm going to cut out the corners so we get rid of some of that bulk. And I know it's hard to see because everything is white and whatnot. And my lighting is really, really bad, and I do apologize for that. I am working on getting new lights, but all I'm going to do, let me bring this up again so you can see. I'm just going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut into the corner. And then I'm just going to cut up and cut out that little bit. On both corners, I'm going to do the same thing over here. Just right into the corner. Not leaving any space. I'm going right into the corner and cutting that away. Then up at the top, I'm going to take a little bit. I'm going to go right to, now my picture just froze, so I hope you guys can still see what I'm doing. There you go. Okay. Right to the corner and just chop down. And again, there. That's just to get rid of some of this bulk, and so you don't see it when it's folded over, which it really won't matter because it's all white, but you know what, you get where I'm going with this. Okay, now then all I'm going to do is take these, fold them over, and again I have the textured side is out. Let me fold these in. Okay. And I wanted to put a pocket, so I'm going to put some papers in there and maybe some other little things like tucked in there that she can use. And this way she can also keep some of her supplies, you know, handy. So I'm going to use tape for this, but I'm going to take just some glue. And this is just barely art glue in another bottle, but it is barely art glue. And I'm just going to put a dot there on each corner. Hopefully it will hold this down. This paper is very strong, and I just lost my stopper. There we go. Yeah, it's not holding. Okay, well, I was trying to tack down the corners just a little bit to hold them. And you always want the bottom piece on the outside of the side flaps. And it's not really holding, well, it's not holding that well. Because the paper doesn't like, it's not liking being folded is the main reason. Okay. But you always want this on the outside, because if you fold this down first and then your sides in, whatever you slide in is going to get caught on this. But this way, it's going to slide neatly down, right down to the bottom, and it won't catch on this piece. Now, I am going to use some double-sided tape. And I have my right angle tool here, made by Darlene Brule, at Darlene by Heart on Etsy, which I will link it below. And I'm going to put, I actually probably should have, well, you know, I'm going to use a little bit thinner tape than this. I probably should have taped before I cut, that way, because it would have gone all the way up to the edges, but, no, yeah, you know, hindsight 2020. And I will be honest with all of you, I have been dealing with a toothache now for like 5 or 6 days, so I'm kind of going a little bit batty with it. But I'm going to go up as far as I can up there. Like I said, normally I would have waited to cut the corners so I put the tape on, but, you know, wasn't thinking. Oh well. Not a biggie. Not a biggie at all. And you can, I'm just putting the tape kind of in the middle. You can Some people like to put it closer to the top of their flap, or some like to put it closer to the bottom. It's just personal preference, I think. So, let me put this last bit right here. So I'm going to go up as much as I can. And I probably could have cut that on an angle and it would have been okay. But what I will do is on the little edges that missed with the tape, I'll just put a little dot of glue. Now what I'm going to do is my front cover, textured side. I'm going to open it up. And with a pokey, some type of pokey instrument, I am going to remove my backing of my tape. You could use wet glue too, but I'm using tape just because it's the watercolor paper. And like I said, it's a little on the temperamental side. I probably could have used like Fabri-Tac or Fabri-Fix on it, and it would have held fine, but I'm, wanting this to stick quickly. So I am going to put just a dot up there where I missed with the tape. And I am going to line this up at the bottom and along, sorry guys, and along the outer edge. I don't know why that's jumping so much today. And that is where I'm going to put my pocket. Stop sticking until I'm ready. Okay. I'm sorry. I don't know why, like I said, it's doing it all of a sudden. But here's my pocket. I will hold up so you can see. And there's some space for some good stuff in there. So, there's my pocket for the inside. And I'm going to flip it back over. If anybody's getting seasick, I'm so very sorry. Like I said, I don't know why it's doing this all of a sudden. Now, she also likes Snoopy and she likes tie-dye. So, I mixed the two together. And on my Cricut, I cut out a Snoopy where I put my art journal. Isn't he cute? I love him. And then I made an outline of him. Can't think of the word to save my life right now, but what it's actually called. And then I colored it in with tie-dye. So let me glue him down to, I'm gonna glue him on the tie-dye first. And I'm just, like I said, I'm just using Barely Art glue. Something like this, I probably wouldn't tape. I mean, if you only have tape available, that's fine. But glue is just as easy, and it'll hold it perfectly. So all I'm going to do is line him up on here. Nice and neat. There we go, in the center. Okay. And I am just going to put him right in the center of the front. And like I said, that's the only decorating I'm going to do. Because I want to leave it, like I said, for her to decorate with what she wants and make it her own. So. And believe me, it's not an easy thing to do. Because I came up with all this elaborate stuff and I was like, no. I want her to be able to play and, and do what she wants with it. So I'm going to center him the best that I can. Okay. And I found this image for free on Google. I just searched Snoopy free clip art or something like that. And it took me to a site that had free clip art. So there is our cover. And I'm going to get my rings now. Like I said, back cover is just plain. Let me put, really quick, let me burp my glue. Don't know if you heard it or not, but I burped my glue bottle, so hopefully it will not, here we go, will not clog. And I think I'm going to use the peach colored rings. Everything is a little more vibrant looking on my monitor than it actually is, but it's all good. Okay, let me put these together. And I thought things are falling everywhere. I thought the peach would look good. I was having a hard time figuring, and this only comes in these colors. And I didn't want to use black. I think the peach would be nice. So all you do with these is you just pop them in. that's it. So we have 9 to do. And they're popping in really easily because these aren't laminated and it's a thinner material. I mean, it's thick, but you know what I mean. It's not like it's chipboard or anything. Which chipboard I would not be able to put through my hole punch anyway. The Happy Planner punches are not made for things that thick. Now you can, if you want to make one of these and you do not have the Happy Planner punch. Okay, let me close this up now. Put this away. You can actually take just a regular hole punch. What you would do, where's a scrap? Here's a scrap. Hold on, stretching. Okay. What you can do is, I would figure out where I want the holes to be. If you have a planner, it's great because you can mark where they would be. How far you have to go in. And all you're going to do is go in a little bit. You would make a hole, punch your hole, and then take your scissors and you just cut a little piece out to make it look like a notch like that. And then the rings, well, you can put it right on the rings. Okay, so you don't have to have the planner punch at all. But I make my own planners, so I invested in that a couple years ago, actually. But, okay, so now I have my cover, and it is all ready with our pocket. Sorry, it keeps jumping. Try to keep my hand there so it doesn't. Okay, pages. Now, I was going to use a bunch of different papers, but I thought, you know what, let me stick to one kind. So I chose to use 110-pound cardstock. And these are cut down to 7 inches by 9 inches. Remember, this is 7 1/4. Dang nabbit. Remember, this is 7 1/4 by 9 1/2. So these are 7 by 9. And when they're inside, there'll be a 1/4 of an inch around these 3 sides. And I did that just in case she has pieces that are going to hang over the side, the top, or maybe the bottom a little bit, or however she wants to get creative. It's just a little bit of wiggle room there. So, with this is my Mambo punch. It does a whole sheet of paper. This is for an 8.5 by 11 sheet. This is for a classic Happy Planner size right here. It's wobbling just because it's not flat on the desk right now. So what I did, I took my page and I slid it in and I tried to figure out where is the middle. So I'm going to try to put it so you can see it there. So what I did, so I would know where to put each one, is see the end of the S here on the word sheets, where it says only 3 sheets of regular paper. I lined it up right to where it covered the S. And that is where I punched all of the sheets for the inside. So they would all be at the same point and sit in the book the same. But again, if you don't have the punch, not a big deal. Just use a regular paper, a paper punch and a pair of scissors. So, very simple to put in. And I know this is a quick project. I'm sorry. Like I said, if I was decorating it, it would take a lot longer. But I want her to be able to do that. And you can take one or a couple of pages at a time. Line them up. And just pop them in over your ring. And that may have been too many to do at once out of this 110 pound. It makes it awfully thick. And the thicker it is, it's a little too thick. Okay, and it bent them a little bit. Okay. Then you just pop them right over. And like I said, I cut out 20 sheets. I didn't say that yet, but I'm saying it now. I did 20 sheets, which doesn't sound like a lot, but if you figure 20, it's actually 40 pages because it's both sides. And once, depending on what she puts on it, I mean, if she puts other die cuts or if she does a bunch of different mixed media or whatever, it's going to add bulk to the pages. And this way, again, she can take each one out to work on it. When she's done, pop it back in. And if some of the pages end up thicker, because I know some people layer, I've seen some pages that are about a 1/4 of an inch thick, depending on what you layer on them. And that way she can take pages out if she needs to, also, if she needs more room. Or if she needs more pages, she can cut some down. All she has to do is take one out. If she doesn't have the punch, measure where the holes are, punch it with her handy dandy hole puncher. And there you go. But I like using rings because, I'm going to try 2 and see if it'll work. Because it's just so customizable. 2 works, 3 is too much. Okay. And she'll be able to alter this to her own needs. And like I said, I know it's hard for me to look at because it's so white, because I'm not used to that. But again, I want her to be able to personalize every aspect of this little planner, or her little art journal, I should say, not planner, to what she needs it for. And you can see it's really, really easy to make. What took the longest, honestly, was cutting the papers down and punching them, because you had to punch 1 sheet at a time. Because even using, especially using a hand punch, it would be hard. If you have like We Are Memory Keepers, like a power punch, you can punch more at a time if you have one of those, because they go through a lot more materials than this. But there are my 20 pages. When it's closed up, there is still room. It only takes up that much room. But like I said, now she has room to work in it. And she has the front cover, the back cover, and all of the pages to decorate to her heart's content. So if you liked this project, which is a lot different for something for me, I don't think I've ever done anything like this before on the channel. But please give it a big thumbs up and share it with a crafty friend. And also, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and click that bell to let you know how often you want to get notices when I'm on doing crazy stuff like this. But that is all I have for today. I hope you like it. I hope she likes it. And I will see you guys in the next one. Happy crafting. Bye, guys.